Hello everybody. As we continue with our distance learning approach to recreating Lancaster School, I think it's important that we talk about standards-based assessment. And standards-based assessment is really a shift in mindset to see student progress based on proficiency levels rather than seeing student progress based on a percentage of correct answers. In looking at a traditional American grading scale, which would be very similar to a Mexican grading scale, and I know the percentages are different in the British grading scale, the notions are the same, where a percentage of correct answers translates into a letter grade, if you'll allow me to call that a traditional grading scale. In a standards-based grading scale, we look at a level of mastery, and ultimately, it's important, or it's impossible not to see the inherent contradiction that, yes, we are assigning a number to a level of mastery, but it's a whole different ballgame. For example, if one gets a 0 in a standards-based assignment and then a 4, then they're functioning at a basic level. If they get a A in the traditional scale and then a 0 on the traditional scale, then they're still in the F range. So there's a whole shift in mindset as to how people move through their levels of mastery and proficiency. So certainly one of the standards-based grading scale, and this can be done very, very quickly. And I think when we're working at distance, I think this is important that we don't, that we need to take care of ourselves in our grading practices and working with a 4-point scale, or in fact, even with a 3-point scale, which if you factor in the 0, it is essentially a 4-point scale. So if we looked at a relative marking scale comparing CEP and CCH with the IB and standards-based, we could then, for example, if we had 5 or 6 assignments where we're giving a 2 in standards-based 3 times and then a 3, we'd end up with an average that would fall somewhere into our relative marking scale. But again, this could be done much more quickly in a much more holistic way. We could even break it down to a 1-point scale. Is it proficient or not? Is it a 0 or a 1? Zeros and ones. We could go to a binary grading system. To that end, I've actually prepared a gradebook template with 3, 2, 1, and 0. And if you were to fill in your students' names in this category, the formula is all prepared in the gradebook template. So if we're looking to create something really quickly and keep this going, I think this is a possible way to do this. When we talk about standards-based assessment, again, it's a new mindset. There are so many frustrations associated with teaching, whether it's class size, parents, too much technology, not enough technology, and obviously pandemics. We've got the pandemic now that's changed everything as far as our teaching goes and our practice goes. I want to encourage everybody to look at the guide and look at the alternative types of assessments that are associated, beyond the tests and the quizzes that is in the learning guide that we distributed prior to the April holidays. And then to think about using standards-based assessment in your grading. I will be posting more ways to quickly assess student work with Google Forms, Edupuzzle, and Flipgrid in the very near future. And our learning management system, that's one of the new acronyms, LMS, of Google Classroom, can keep very good track of this for us.